Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. On the back of preaching about Rahab from Joshua chapter 2 on Sunday, I wanted to take a few minutes just to unpack and show how Rahab's life fits into the overall narrative of God's salvation with humankind throughout history and where Rahab fits into that. And we see it actually in chapter 2, verses 17 onwards. And essentially, Rahab has said to the spies, the two spies that come into her home, she said, look, when you come and attack Jericho, will you please save me and my family? And the spies respond to her and say, well, this oath that you made us swear will not be binding on us unless when we enter the land, you've tied this scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down, and unless you have brought your father and mother, your brothers and all your family into your house. So the spies say, look, hang this scarlet cord out the window. When the armies of Israel come and destroy Jericho, they will see the scarlet cord and they'll know that this family has put their trust and their faith in the living God, in Yahweh, and they are to be saved and brought into the people of Israel. Now, this scarlet cord, it points back to the Passover and it points forward to Jesus. So first of all, the Passover, this is when they were in Egypt and they were in slavery to the Egyptians, and God's going to deliver them out of the Egyptian rule. And there are 10 plagues. And the 10th plague is that the firstborn son of every family will be killed. Now, God says that, look, if you sacrifice a lamb and put its blood on the lintel of the door and on the door posts, then that is communicating that you're putting your trust and your faith and your hope in the living God, in Yahweh. And for all those families that did that, the angel of death passed over that house and the firstborn son survived. It's the same, we see it in Rahab. She put her hope and her faith in the living God. She showed that and demonstrated that by putting the scarlet cord in the window. So it points back to the Passover, but it also points forward to Jesus. Now, Jesus died at the time of the Passover. He shed his blood on the cross for sinners, to bring them back into a relationship with the living God. And for those who put their trust and their hope and their faith in Jesus and his sacrifice on the cross, that is a sacrifice once and for all. It's a complete sacrifice. No more sacrifices need to be made. For those who put their faith and their trust in him, they will not experience death. They will, for them, death, physical death, is just a gateway into God's presence to spend eternity with him, ultimately in the new heavens and the new earth. So the story of Rahab, it points back to the Passover and it also points forward to Jesus. Time and again throughout the Bible, you see that God's narrative of salvation actually is being outworked. These stories are not just standalone, they're not just to be picked out in isolation, but they always point forward to Jesus and show us what God is doing to save and create and bring about a people for his own possession that he loves and adores and cherishes, his bride, that he will one day share the wedding feast with, the wedding supper of the Lamb. Bless you, church.